Alright, chapter 26, open forum. A lot different than closed forum, just basically the opposite of it, what you're trying to do. And let's see, the main supporting detail of it. It says the term describing poetry that employs the sound and rhythm of natural speech, repetition, grammatical variation, and patterns of imagery rather than formal rhyming structure. So you're basically just doing it what you think like it's like a natural saying for you. You're not trying to put it into a fixed formula or fixed situation in a poem. You're just basically kind of like it's not freestyle, but it's kind of free rhyming of what you're trying to do. And then the poem for the main idea is the Robert Haas's meditation Lagunitas. It says all the new thinking is about loss. In this, it resembles all the old thinking. See, there's no rhyming or anything like that. There was no alliteration. I mean, there could be alliteration, but he wrote it anyway. He wasn't trying to write into a fixed form of poetry. He was just writing it in any fashion he thought that would be good for him, or just following what he thinks that would be good for him, good to write for. There's the vers libre, free verse, and open form poem, which is the free verse is derived from the designation vers libre, a school of 17th century French poetry, meaning free verse in English, which is basically what we're talking about right now. It says open form avoids the conclusion that poetry of this kind is completely ungoverned or unconcerned with craft. So basically, it's not a fixed form. Basically, it's not a guideline. There's not a set of rules. You're basically just writing it on what you want to think it is. Basically, you're not abiding by somebody's rules of what you're trying to write. So it's you come across a lot neater things though, because you're not fixed in one way. It's like, oh, this is not a haiku, it's not a villainette, it's not a sonnet or anything like that. It's just basically a free talking of what you want to talk about. You're not going to have to follow a certain syllables in each line or parameters or meters or anything like that. It's basically just a free writing. And then for that example, I used Walt Whitman's Song of Myself. It says, I celebrate myself and sing myself, and what I assume you shall assume, for every atom belonging to me is as good as it belongs to you. And then there's a lot more. There's a lot more poems that he talks about. There is a couple of it. And then you got E. Cummings, since feeling is first. It says, since feeling is first, who pays any attention to the syntax of things will never wholly kiss you. He doesn't have capital words in there. They're all lowercase letters, so it's basically just a free writing for him. You're not following anything purposely, or you're just doing what you want to do on your writing. And then the other concrete detail is visual poetry. And visual poetry is you're writing about what the object is, but you're also putting it in the shape of that object of what you're writing. And then in George Hebert's Easter Wings is basically shaped like kind of like Easter setting of thing. Like, it's not written straight up and down like a regular poem. It's written sideways, and you have to look at it sideways in the book though to read what it's writing, because it's not written vertical. It's written horizontal. And then also in the same thing as John Hollander's Swan and Shadow, it's in the shape of what he's writing, and it's pretty interesting in my opinion, because I like the way it looks. I mean, it's kind of difficult to read though, but it's still an interesting way of reading a poem and trying to get a better understanding of what the poet is trying to get across. And that's chapter 26, open forum.